We are wrestling. We are wrestling.
Don, D-O-N?
Dick, got it.
Make sure to subscribe, baby. And
We are wrestling.
We are live, man.
hey, we are live. Let's go.
Let's get it, man.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on, everybody? Danny Huckins here, man. Donnie's co-host for the We Are Wrestling talk show. 1/3 of the host, man. But I'm the only one that really does AEW content on a weekly basis. Donnie, man, what a hellacious episode.
The other one that's a part of We Are Wrestling, he's a WWE mark, all right? Just want to put that out there. That's why Danny and we do the reviews.
To an extent, but I feel like he's, gradually coming to the surface. But bro,
no, he's not. He's never going to.
What a fucking night one of the first week of FYTER Fest, man.
Here's what I want to say about this show. For me, it was such a roller coaster. And for me, I felt like the ending of this show, that's what I needed for this to be a good show overall. And I was very happy with the outcome of the show. I know I have came at Keith Lee and Swerve about their tag team, their chemistry. I never really enjoyed it. But for them to get that moment, it was pretty cool to see. Not even going to lie, I marked the fuck out during that, which you can check that reaction out on the channel after, this review. But I still feel like maybe it's a little too soon. They're a good tag team, but I feel like long-term they're trying to build like a rivalry out of it with those two.
I think Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs are gonna beat them for the tag team titles, and it's gonna solidify them. Because over the last couple of months they've been building up this rivalry between Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs, Keith Lee, and Swerve, and I feel like it's gonna be a culmination once Swerve and Keith Lee are the tag team champions now, and then they're gonna end up putting over Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, which is a tremendous thing.
I'm just going to say we'll have to see about that because FTR has been, killing it right now. And the only tag team champions I feel like they don't have is the AEW tag belts. But who knows what they're going to do with that.
Until Death Before Dishonor, you never know if the Briscoes are going to end up beating them. Who knows, man? Anything can happen in 2022 in pro wrestling.
Seriously, anything can happen, because going into that main event, I swear to God, I thought that the Young Bucks were going to win somehow, and that's where I thought the turn was going to happen. That's why I turned on the reaction, because I saw there was like 5 minutes left of the show. So I was like, fuck it, let's get a reaction, because I feel like there's no way that they're just going to end the show with the Young Bucks retaining, because that's what I thought was going to happen. They were going to retain the belts. Swerve and Keith Lee were going to turn on each other, and then, it would be FTR Young Bucks all out. But hey, I'm glad they hit us with this swerve.
This is what I'm talking about, man. I say it a lot, and we do got to get in the show, whatever, because you have to get up for work in the morning. But I do want to say this, man. I love AEW for the simple fact that it's not predictable. You never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
It's very unpredictable compared to the other television show. I will say that.
Nobody in their right mind would have thought that Keith Lee and Swerve Scott, the way that they've been booked over the last couple of months, nobody thought that they would beat the Young Bucks and Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. You know what I mean?
No, here's the thing, and I don't care what anybody says, and this even goes out to Ben, because Ben's probably like, oh, I already knew they were going to probably win the belts. This is to everybody saying that. That's cap. Straight cap. Because I didn't even know that these guys were going to win this match. If you watch the match, even with, they were teasing it, that, they were going to lose, and the Young Bucks were just going to do the super kicks and then do the B trigger. It was all, it had me shocked what happened. And I guarantee you, if you watch this live, you watched these guys win the tag team champions live, you know that you did not go into this match saying that these guys were going to win the belts.
Exactly, man. Hey, can we talk about that fucking front flip plancha over the top rope that Keith Lee did?
Man, incredible. What a freaking show. But let's get started with the opening contest. We're going to, what we usually do here on the reviews, we review everything for the show, the segments, the vignettes, the matches. Danny and I, we cover it all on here, and we love to interact with you guys. So if you're here live listening to us giving our reviews for this week's episode of Dynamite, comment down below and let us know, and, we'll answer your guys' questions. But with that being said, let's get into our first match, because, of course, they always love starting the show off with an opening contest. Yeah. Orange Cassidy versus Wardlow for the TNT Championship.
Bro, I loved this match, man. It set up the rest of the show. It was very comedic to me. But I feel like Orange Cassidy and Wardlow, they worked really well together. You
want to know why? You know why you feel that way?
Why?
Because they made it work. Before going into this match, you can tell that these two definitely, came up with an idea, and they executed that idea perfectly, because it wasn't like Wardlow let Cassidy, friggin' really beat him and stuff, because obviously you can see the size difference. You got Wardlow as a monster, and you got friggin' Orange Cassidy that's a toothpick. Yeah, literally David versus Goliath.
And you had Wardlow ripping the pockets of Orange Cassidy, which was really hilarious, and then Orange Cassidy putting the straps back on Wardlow.
I loved it. And then as he was bringing him to the ropes, he just did his kicks, and the crowd's going, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love this, because this is exactly how you need to do a David versus Goliath match. When you have a bigger guy versus a smaller guy, this is exactly how you execute it, and that is what they did. And for me, all I was thinking about during this match is, what is Jim Cornette going to say about this? Because technically, they did not expose anything. This was straight old school. Going into the match, you had Orange Cassidy come out. They showed, the little interview thing on the side with him and Best Friends, and they said it straight up that they were going to try to cheat to win.
Yeah.
And what do they do?
Try to bring a chainsaw.
And Orange Cassidy did his tactics, because he knew that he could stop Wardlow a little bit by doing that. And it kind of gave him the advantage at one point in the match. It made perfect sense. And for me, personally, this was probably one of my favorite matches of the night because of how much sense it made.
Yeah, it was definitely it was an unusual match, I will say that, like, seeing as, how ruthless Wardlow has been over the last couple of months with the whole MJF situation and him, not being signed to AEW but being signed, and with the handcuffs and security guards or whatever. This was sort of showing Wardlow's personality a little bit more than the way he has been booked over the last several weeks.
Yes,
I
I absolutely agree. And that's the thing that makes this match work. Because going into it, Wardlow, thought it was going to be easy. He was underestimating Orange Cassidy. What did Orange Cassidy do? He saw a bigger guy. So he did his little antics because, the crowd, they love it. And Wardlow's not going to freaking beat the living shit out of him when he's doing little kicks to his freaking shin.
Exactly.
Like, it all worked out perfect. And I loved it. Danhausen, I loved that spot as well. That was great.
I love how Wardlow just patted Danhausen on the chest, being like, "Get out of here, man! What are you doing in here?"
But it all worked out. It was such a perfect way of doing it. They did not expose the business.
And then at the end of the match, they gave each other a fist bump or whatever, and Wardlow just celebrated. So it was all love at the end of the day. I really enjoyed it for an opening contest, and it really solidified like what was to come the rest of the night.
Exactly. And here's one thing I want to say. If, my buddy Chaz is tuning in, to this, if you did not watch Dynamite, Chaz, you have to watch this match because he loves old school wrestling.
Yeah.
And this is exactly how it should be with smaller guys versus bigger guys all the time. This worked out perfect. Loved it.
Absolutely, man. I had fun. That's all I can say. I had fun.
It was a fun match, which was great. Moving on now to the next thing that we had on Dynamite. We had Pac's highlights. So they showed his highlights for his match that they showed on Dark, which, let me just say this, all right? AEW needs to do this more often with Dark. I loved what they did this week on Dark. They showed a match from over the weekend with Pac versus somebody from the UK or Japan.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was, but they showed highlights of the match in this video. And I know even later on they showed something with Thunder Rosa losing to somebody else at another show. Yeah. But I really like how Dark did that this week because you actually got two really good matches out of it. And then you had your normal Dark, which the way that they have actually been having some of the matchups have actually been pretty good.
I might add Dark or Dark Elevation, whatever one is on Tuesday. I think I might add that to the repertoire of watch-alongs I do a week, man. I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
Man, I would give it a shot at least 1 week. Try it for 1 week. They continue this momentum, because if you did it this week, you'd probably be tuning in every week. Just saying.
Probably. I might watch next week, see what the vibe is like, and I might the following week I might add it to the lineup.
But this is what I want to see more. I love the video packages. Yep. They showed what happened on Dark. Yep. Do that more often, please.
You got to sort of migrate the shows together so it feels like, because I feel like, they don't really talk about Dark or Dark Elevation too much outside of, Dark on, on Monday, 7 p.m. on YouTube, whatever. Like, outside of that, they don't really mention it. So it kind of feels like its own entity when in reality it's the same company. They sort of need to have that migration,
They need to do, like, more little advertisement stuffs like this, because this was great. Moving forward now to the next thing of the night, we had Chris Jericho come out and cut another promo. And this one was, his final promo before going into this barbed wire death match against Eddie Kingston. How did you feel about the promo?
I love the promo, bro. And you may not be a fan, but I love what him and Eddie Kingston are doing just because I'm a huge fan of Jericho and Eddie Kingston. So I could just watch them work together. They're very fluent with each other. They know each other very well.
But here's my question.
I'm very excited for this match.
How long can they keep this going? This feud has been going on for way too long, I feel like, and that's why.
And the
I
feud
feel like
with
it's not
Brock
just me. I feel like
Lesnar
other people are
and the-
being disinterested.
and the feud with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns has been going on and off since 2014. So
You're damn right. And you know what I'm going to be doing at SummerSlam watch along, Danny?
What?
And don't tell Ben this because I know Ben won't be tuning in anyway. So this will like be our little secret.
Okay.
So We Are Wrestling Maniacs that are tuning in right now, do not tell Ben what I'm about to say. All right.
Okay.
When it comes to that,
our dirty
when it
little
comes to
secret.
when it comes to the main event of SummerSlam, it'll be Brock versus Roman yet again. I'm going to Ben's house to watch this. When it's main event time, I'm leaving. I'm not watching the main event.
I'm actually
I will not be watching it. I am like 95% sure I'm not watching it. I'm sick of the same shit.
I'm sick of the same shit too, but I'm kind of interested in seeing what's gonna happen during the Last Man Standing match. I just like matches with those kind of
Oh,
stipulations.
wait a minute. I forgot about that. It's a last man standing. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching it then.
So you just contradicted yourself.
Yeah, I did. I forgot it was last man standing just because of that.
But I feel like in reality, I don't think this feud has necessarily been going on that long. And I feel like as long as they keep it interesting and not just have the same old recycled shit all the time, I feel like it could be interesting. You know what I mean?
This rivalry has been going on since January.
Yeah.
That's a long time. 7 months. We're about to be on 8 months of this.
Long-term booking, motherfucker. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, long-term booking's good, but when you're freaking doing the same bullshit every week, it gets kind of boring.
Bro,
Do not get me wrong. Do not get me wrong here. I thought it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the promo was good. Jericho always executes.
Yep.
But here's the point that
I've noticed
even
something,
in my
though.
reaction video, I caught this, and I want to point it out here on the review.
I noticed something about Jericho, though. He's definitely showing his age the more I see him.
Well, he's the wizard now, so he can have all the gray hairs now.
If he's the wizard, he needs to make himself look younger, man. Get some of that Botox.
All right, so here's the thing I noticed during this.
Oh, God.
So Jericho pointed out, and I believe he's been this whole feud has been based on this. Correct me if I'm wrong. When it comes to this whole feud, it's because Jericho thinks that Eddie Kingston's not on Jericho's level. Am I right or wrong?
To an extent, yes.
This is what they're feuding over. Eddie Kingston. Let's be real here. We Are Wrestling Maniacs. Eddie Kingston is great. I fucking love Eddie Kingston.
I do too.
But that man is not in Chris Jericho's category. You cannot put him in Jericho status. Nobody can, please. On the mic, he is phenomenal. He is
Jericho,
great. Do not get me wrong.
With Jericho's
in a whole different tier.
Yes. Jericho's legacy. Do I think Eddie Kingston can keep up with Jericho? Abso-fucking-lutely. Eddie Kingston's fucking phenomenal in the ring. He's phenomenal on the mic. Could he use a little bit of work here and there on certain things? Yeah. But look at fucking Jade Gargill back in December. She fucking...
Do not get me wrong here. I'm not taking anything away from Eddie Kingston whatsoever. But this is the point of the feud here with Eddie Kingston and Jericho. It's because Jericho thinks that Eddie Kingston is not on his level. Even though, from like a common sense standpoint, no shit. Have you seen the accolades and the legacy that Jericho has in the business? Eddie Kingston will never get to that point. Eddie Kingston's very successful. He is great. Do not get me wrong. But he will never be in that same tier as Jericho. And that's why I think that this feud, for me, I'm just completely sick of it. I'm excited for the match next week, though.
Oh,
that's going to be a banger.
Bro,
but after that match, that better be it, because what else can they do?
I don't know, but you better fucking do it.
After a death match, a feud always ends.
I want to see you. I want you to film an entire reaction video to that entire fucking match and upload it. uncut, uncensored. I want to see what you truly feel about that fucking match next week, because that shit is about to be a fucking blood fest.
Okay. I will actually do that.
You don't.
I already know. I'm gonna enjoy the match. It's going to be great. I am going to love every second of that match. But here's the thing, I don't mind the matches. I'm just sick of this storyline. Make it end already.
Like I said, man, should it end? Yes. But I'm a fan of Eddie Kingston and Jericho, so I love and appreciate watching them on TV. You know, so
no, absolutely. I love to see him on TV, but now it's time to, move forward. Let's give Kingston a new thing.
Yeah,
let Jericho do something new.
Who else would Jericho feud with? I don't think there's really anybody.
Well, actually, I was thinking of
unless Claudio or Moxley or Danielson's out, Punk is out.
Here, I got one, all right? And I know you're probably going to definitely disagree with me, and I know whoever's tuning into this...
Bro, you better not say Jungle... You better not say Jungle Boy, man.
I will not say Jungle Boy, because I love what they're doing right now with Jungle Boy and Christian. Do not friggin' do anything about that. Well, Luchasaurus as well. Christian and Jungle Boy. They're all part of the story. It's wonderful. Keep that story away from this. Here's what they got to do, all right?
What's up?
I think if they really want to get this Wizard thing over and they want to get, the Jericho Appreciation Society even more over, you know what group they need a feud with next?
The Blackpool Combat Club? Team Taz?
Dark Order. And Jericho should be the one to kill the Dark Order. End it.
Do you see? Yeah, but the Dark Order technically doesn't have a leader, right? So who the fuck would lead them into this battle or into the storyline?
Hangman Adam Page. And that could lead to Hangman versus Jericho. The first time, they were the ones that actually competed for the first ever to be crowned AEW champion.
I actually don't think you're delusional in that aspect.
I thought it was either going to be out of the park or fucking strike out with that one, but
no, I'm actually.
I think, but it makes sense because then the Dark Order gets TV time.
It would make Dark Order relevant.
They could do some stuff now with Evil Uno, with 10, with John Silver, Alex Reynolds. With John Silver, Alex Reynolds, they can feud with what's their names? 2.0.
Yep,
that's perfect right there. And then 10, he's very good in the ring. He never got the opportunity to really show what he can do. Have him, go against Hager. There's a lot of scenarios that they could do with this. And, they can definitely even Ty Conti and Anna Jay.
Ty Conti and
Anna Jay. It all works out.
Yeah, I actually don't think you're that delusional. If it's done properly, I don't want them to do it like all corny.
No, it has to be properly.
Yeah.
It has to be properly. Absolutely.
Because especially with Dark Order involved, it'd be very easy to fuck that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
moving forward now to our next match of the night, we had the AEW Interim World Champion, Jon Moxley, versus Tanahashi, right? That's his name?
Kono something. Konasaki. I actually liked this match quite a bit. It was fucking. At the end of it, I saw blood on fucking Moxley's face, but it looked all dry, and I was sitting there for a minute contemplating: was that Moxley's blood or is that fucking Konosuke's blood? I couldn't figure it out, and part of me is still did Moxley bleed tonight?
Yeah, they both did. I think during the commercial, that's where, the New Japan guy was bleeding, and then Mox bleeded towards the end.
Yep. Yeah, I don't pay attention during, the picture
I'm gonna keep it
too much. But...
I don't pay attention either, but I'm gonna keep it short here. This was a great match, but if I'm being completely honest, I am sick of the Forbidden Door stuff. Do not get me wrong. These guys from New Japan are absolutely talented. It's really cool that they get the spotlight. But now that, they are moving forward now with Death Before Dishonor and now All Out, their biggest show of the year, I feel like they need to kind of move forward from the Forbidden Door stuff right now and focus
Yeah, but you have
on
to
All Out.
you have to remember how many people they have injured, bro. They need the time to fill up spaces, you know. I mean, CM Punk is out, Santana's out, you know, Danielson is out. Like, they have so many people out.
Danny, do not make me pull the AEW roster out. We still have about like 80 wrestlers on there.
I know, and I feel like they're doing good stuff. But I mean, I don't mind. You know, I like hard hitting pro wrestling, and if that's what I'm gonna get, then I enjoy it.
Don't get me wrong, like the matches are great, but now that the Forbidden Door is over, I'm looking at it from storytelling, storyline perspectives.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like this doesn't really do anything. Like, here's what they got to do. They had Mox versus Brody King. Instead of, you know, focusing on having this match, why don't they kind of build something with Mox and Black for All Out?
Yep.
Because I heard that's like the reports. That's like what they want to do. Or even if they want MJF to come back, have him come back and like do something. I feel like it's just, you know, they got to move forward from the Forbidden Door stuff. Let New Japan do what they're doing right now. I think AEW, you know, gave them lots of time to really show what they are about.
Yep.
And probably gave them a lot more new fans through it. And I think AEW's got to focus on All Out, their biggest show of the year. And I think, you know, they got to start building the Mox thing.
That's all fine and good, and I do agree with you on certain aspects. But I mean, if it's you know, gonna be 1 or 2 matches a week, you know, then I don't mind it. You know. Plus, you have like, just because you're not a fan, or I'm particularly like, we're not familiar with these guys, you know,
other people love it.
Moxley requested to work with this guy, you know what I mean? So it's all about like who they want to work with. If they want to work with these guys, they're gonna work with them. You know what I mean? So I mean,
hey, the fans loved it.
Yeah.
It was a great match. Do not get me wrong. This was a great match. I just want them to start, you know, building for All Out, because time is ticking for this biggest pay-per-view.
Bro, we're only
they haven't even really built anything yet.
Brian Dunlap in the live chat. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what is going on?
But I mean, it's only July 13th, bro. I mean, All Out's not until September 4th. So I think they have plenty of time to build towards this pay-per-view.
But do you want these matches to all be rushed last minute like WWE?
No, but I mean, I don't think like tonight they need to worry about that, or next week. Let's get through FYTER Fest and then we'll see where we go from there. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. Moving forward now, we had a video package, The House of Black.
Bro, I love the House of Black, man.
Man, Julia Hart, that was such a great addition to the
William
group.
Barrett in the live chat. How far do you think Mox will go with the title before Punk comes back?
Here's what I'm hoping. I am hoping that, because I know originally it was supposed to be MJF. There's reports that he was supposed to come back before All Out and did back then and win the title. So with Punk being out, I wonder if they're going to keep MJF away from TV for longer, or maybe they'll have MJF, you know, go for the title at All Out. They'll find some way to get him in the mix, or it'll be, you know, Malachi versus Mox.
Interesting. And then Brian Dunlap said, "I like your Crumb plushie." I don't know if he's talking. Is he talking about you or talking about me? If he's
Crumb plushie.
Crumb, CRUMB. If he's talking about my guy right here, that's not. He's from All Real Monsters, that Nickelodeon show from back in the day. So.
Hey.
Yes, man.
Gotta love that old Nickelodeon stuff. I got right over here on my set. I got my SpongeBob Pops and I got my Nickelodeon Guts trophy.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so with the House of Black video package, I really enjoyed it. I loved what they did over the weekend, how Brody King beat the shit out of Darby Allin.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, and I really like the way that they're being booked right now, the way that they're being presented. They
Bro,
are looking like top guys right now.
I love the House of Black. There's just something weird. Like, I don't necessarily know if they really like put full faith into what was gonna happen between the House of Black and fucking Brian Pillman
Jeff
Jr.
Bryant.
and Griff Garrison, because I mean, what's her face left them, went with House of Black, and it's just like they were like, okay, see you later. They didn't really do much to like really, you know.
Oh, I
don't
can't
know.
wait to get into Brian Pillman Jr. I cannot wait to get into Griff Garrison.
I
And
know.
that is the next thing that we get to talk about. So we had a match, Luchasaurus versus Griff Garrison. You know, Christian came out, cut a deep promo yet again.
I don't necessarily call that a match, man. That was like a beatdown. There wasn't a pin. I don't even think there was a referee. Luchasaurus just went down there because Griff Garrison reminded him of Jungle Boy and just started beating the hell out of him. I don't necessarily think it was.
He just got his ass beat,
and then he put him through a table and then he fucking left. It wasn't a match, bro. I'm telling you right now.
No, it was a match. It was a match. They had the referee.
I don't know, man. I don't consider it a match.
Well, in AEW records, Luchasaurus got a win. Garrison got a loss.
Either way, it was good stuff, man.
Here's what I want to say, all right? And I said this in my reaction. If you want to go check that out afterwards, go ahead. But, man, Christian is just absolutely killing it every week, showing that he is one of the top heels in the business. I love what he's doing. But, man, it's time. Here's what they got to do, all right? It's time to freaking... This would have been the perfect chance for them to... And I hope maybe they'll do this next week. I really hope they do. It's time to write Griff Garrison off. Have, Luchasaurus freaking destroy him or something so that he can get repackaged, then do something on Dark maybe, and just have a character change or something. And it's time to push Brian Pillman Jr. He's good.
What? Of course he's good. I've seen him on MLW before AEW. But like, where do you see Brian Pillman Jr. going? This is like the second time, man. First, fucking MJF talked about his drug-addicted mother. And now fucking we have Christian over here talking about his dad. How much more do you think he's going to be able to take before he just fucking snaps? Especially seeing as his mother just passed away not that long ago. So I'm pretty sure a lot of those emotions are still there. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm waiting for. Like, if they lose next week, Brian Pillman Jr., I think, needs to turn heel. Loose cannon shit. After they lose yet again, because they, have been a joke for such a long time, Pillman just needs to beat the shit out of Griff Garrison. And, they can really push Brian Pillman Jr. as a heel, I think, with the proper TV time and, promos and stuff. They could definitely do a program with him with somebody.
I think so, too. I mean, that could definitely
He's got
work.
a lot of potential, man.
But there's also a lot of guys that don't give a fuck on AEW, and I just don't know, Brian Pillman Jr. is definitely tough, but there's a lot. I can name a lot of guys on the AEW roster that would wipe the fucking floor with him. So I don't necessarily know what kind of mean streak he'd be able to go on. You know what I mean?
I will say this: that the latest wrestling show that I went to, Big Time Wrestling Vlog, which if you want to go check that out, you guys can. It's on the channel. We do, we go to wrestling shows and we vlog it. So I was at the show in Big Time Wrestling in the beginning of June. It was FTR with Bret Hart versus Brock Anderson, Brian Pillman Jr. with Arn Anderson. And but here's the thing. So here's the thing. I was watching this match and Pillman looked really freaking good. And I really just don't understand why. That would not be a bad pairing of him and Brock Anderson. They looked really good at the show. They looked like a way better pairing than freaking the Varsity Blondes and Brock and Shorty Lee. But I think, though, what I'm trying to say is Brian Pillman Jr. needs to get a singles push. It's time.
Brian Dunlap in the live chat said today is the 21st anniversary of my mom's death. Sorry to hear that. My mom passed away in 2002 on my grandmother's birthday, ironically. So,
man, I'm so sorry for your loss. And something too, speaking of that, yesterday on the 12th of July, that was, my mom's passing. She passed in 2014.
it's nuts, bro.
It is nuts.
And then Brian said, what do you think is the best way for AEW to turn their TV ratings around?
The best way to turn their TV ratings around, it's simple. They really need to start pushing their own talent, and they really need to find that balance again that they once had years back, like in the beginning. I think, the arena's definitely got to be more lighter like it used to be when it first started. And MJF needs to get back on TV.
I'll be right back, man. Take the reins.
I will. I'll take the reins. I'll get through all the bullshit. So real quick, guys, just want to say I cannot see the live chat whatsoever on here. Danny usually keeps that in charge. So the next thing after the whole Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Brian Pillman, Griff Garrison thing that happened, we had a Jericho Appreciation Society backstage promo. We had Matt Lee and we had Jeff Parker and Garcia, trying to 2.0 or showing how scared they were of the shark cage. And then Garcia wants them in the cage with them. I actually enjoyed it. I thought, it was great. It was a nice little backstage thing. And usually for me, I do not like the backstage stuff whatsoever. When it comes to AEW, I feel like a lot of it just, is just wasting time. But this week, they actually utilized their time really well. Moving forward now to the next thing here, we had a backstage thing with Hangman Adam Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds. I believe that they were pushing for a match on Rampage this Friday. I forgot who they're going against. I'll ask Danny right now. Hey, Danny.
I had to talk to the wife real quick. What's up?
Who's Hangman, John Silver, and Reynolds going against Friday on Rampage?
I can't remember.
Yeah, they're going against somebody this Friday.
Yeah. I didn't watch. I don't really pay attention when the commercials come on, man. So I don't know.
Well, no, I'm talking about the backstage segment with Hangman, John Silver, and Reynolds. All I gotta say is push Johnny Hungy. It's time.
Yep.
So now let's get into something that we definitely both were paying attention to. The next match: Jake Hager versus Claudio Cesaro.
Bro.
What was your thoughts on this match?
I like Claudio. I'm not crazy about Jake Hager's in-ring work, though. Like, I gotta be honest, man.
Jake Hager, he needs to go back to WWE.
I feel like he's gotten so used to the whole MMA, UFC lifestyle, whatever, and he forgets what it's like to be a pro wrestler. You know what I mean?
I don't know. When I watch him, don't get me wrong, I like him as Jericho's big guy there. But besides that, he doesn't really do much for me anymore. On WWE, he was friggin' world champion, I thought. And seeing him go from being a world champion to being almost as green as Omos is kind of crazy to me to see.
But I mean,
he definitely declined big time when it comes to being on television. Not even not the wrestling, not because he's in great wrestling shape.
Yeah.
But just character wise, there's nothing there.
He's pretty much the same guy that he's always been, And he's more of he comes out in UFC boxing trunks or whatever, He has that whole. But I mean, I feel like that whole gimmick is overplayed by so many fucking people. You know what I mean?
Hey, I will say though one thing: Jake Hager actually does win his MMA fights.
I want to see Jake Hager versus Hook.
Now that I would be tuned into. But overall, I thought that this was a great match. There's nothing to really add to it. I think, Claudio is just great.
Bro, Claudio, man, he still gets the biggest fucking pop, man. It's great to fucking hear. It just shows like I feel like he loves it too, because it shows like, that people appreciate his work. You know what I mean?
Here, I got a prediction.
What's up?
Claudio will be the one to defeat Pac for the All Atlantic Championship. It's not going to happen right away, though.
I hope it doesn't, man. As much as I like Claudio, I feel like Pac, he definitely deserved that title, and he fucking busted his ass to get it. So, I would like for him to have a good run. I would like for him to, start a feud with somebody else. Like I will say, since he's won the title, not much has really happened with him outside of like a video package and maybe him doing like, overseas tours or whatever that you don't really see.
Hey, they did show the highlights of that on Dynamite, which I really liked.
Yeah, I know, but it's technically like it's an AEW title, and they have enough people from
enough
performers.
I think what they did was smart, because Dark ratings went way up from doing this.
That's fine, bro, and I have nothing negative to say about it. All I'm saying is, if you're gonna have this be an AEW title, you should defend it on AEW. They have more than enough performers from different continents or whatever that are in that kind of category that title is presented.
Hey, it is the All Atlantic Championship, man. It's an international title, so I kind of like what they're doing here. Yes, it does need to be on AEW. Don't get me wrong.
I just don't like the fact that he's had it for a couple of weeks now, and we haven't seen it presented on TV once. You know what I mean? I just don't like that.
I respect that. I do respect your take on that. Moving forward now, we had a backstage thing of Hook. The interviewer asked him about, are you going to be looking for a championship? Hook just looks at her and walks away.
Looking like fucking Eminem and 8 Mile, man. That's all
I feel like I don't know. I feel like the title shot.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
NF. You know that rapper NF?
I do.
He wears the fucking hat down. You can't see his eyes, and he fucking always wears like big ass clothes. It reminds me of NF.
That's the thing when it comes to Hook. I'm kind of glad that they're moving on from the Hookhausen thing, so that Hook can get back to the momentum that he had. But like, I don't know, he should not be going for a championship, not yet.
I don't think he's ready yet, but I definitely
too soon.
I definitely could see him, being a champion. What do you think he should like partner with somebody and like become a tag team champion, or do you think he should just go for the TNT title?
No, Hook should. I think, I'm not even gonna lie, that would be a good match, Hook versus Wardlow, and that should be his first loss. Because then it's like he goes back to the drawing board to where like you go back to what he was doing before, starting lower and working his way up. Because I felt like having him with Danhausen, yes, it brought out a little bit personality stuff with him, but I felt like it was a little too soon. They should have definitely waited. It was entertaining, don't get me wrong, but for what they were building with Hook, all of that work that they put in went right down the drain when they started doing the comedy stuff.
I think I mentioned this on one of the reviews or one of the talk shows. I mentioned it somewhere. Something that we were filming one day. But I feel like they haven't really done much with like Hook's push. Remember, it was such a big deal. Hook is going to Dynamite, and like
the Hookhausen thing, man. That's what it comes down to.
That didn't last long. Now he's been doing nothing but backstage.
But at that point, all that momentum went away because they were doing the build-ups perfect. They were hyping up Rampage, which the ratings for Rampage with Hook were actually very high compared to now.
Bro, Hook is over, man, and I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying like it was.
But now it's back to the drawing board.
I know, but I'm just saying it was such a big deal for him to go to Dynamite. They haven't really utilized him. I mean, I could think of fucking 15 people right now that Hook could easily have a feud with outside of like a QT Marshall or some independent guy from like whatever the city they're in. There's things you can make him do. I want to see Hook on TV. The dude's over as fuck. I don't understand why they're not utilizing, his fan. The dude is over, man. Like, what else can I say? They're not utilizing him.
I'm telling you, the Hookhausen thing, that's what messed up the momentum, and now they're like back to the drawing boards, and it sucks to see that because Hook really had something going.
I do feel like people are fucking secretly listening to our conversations, though, because how many times have I mentioned I would love to see Danhausen with Orange Cassidy?
There's definitely people listening to us because our takes, I feel like here on the We Are Wrestling channel, maybe I might be a little biased because, I'm the host of the talk show, but I feel like our takes compared to other wrestling channels' takes are very logical and very realistic and very, that can make sense.
Yep. We just need a fan base to back it up.
Oh, that'll come through time. The thousands. Moving forward now to our backstage segment. Another one we had. We had Thunder Rosa backstage yet again.
Thunder Rosa.
I will say this. I really like the tag team name that they have.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Bro, it's fucking original as shit. It's original as fuck. You know what I mean? And
now, because of that, it really had me thinking.
What?
Is it time for a women's tag team division in AEW?
Possibly.
You don't have to put it on. No, listen. You don't have to put it on Dynamite.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they have Dark. There's a reason why they have Dark Elevation. There's also a reason why they have Rampage. I think it's time.
Bro, there is so many people. You and Don, you and Ben included, talking about these certain people aren't being pushed or whatever, they're being on Dark and Dark Elevation, whatever. I mean, you can't say that that's not out there. So having like a women's tag division, then putting it on Dark and stuff, I don't think that'll go over well at all because people automatically assume, it's already getting buried.
Okay, but that's for the popular fan base. But when it comes to the maniacs, the AEW maniacs, they're going to love that shit because then here's one, it gives you more of a reason to tune into Dark.
Yeah.
Look at the viewership right now for what they did with PAC, with the All-Atlantic Championship. Dark has not had this many views in a very, very long time. I think last week episode I think it has more views than last week's episode, and it has only been up for a day.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's very possible.
But we're still waiting for the trio tag titles or the trio tag titles, so I don't necessarily know if a women's division is in the cards right now. I do think
they got a lot of tag teams starting to get built up now, which is good.
I think TK needs to have a meeting with Vince and maybe transfer the fucking tag titles over from WWE if they're not going to use them. Fucking put them on. All you gotta
what's funny? You want to know something really funny about that?
What?
So they don't know what to do with the WWE Women Tag Team Champions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet they have all these great friggin' women tag teams in NXT, and they're killing it.
Except for what's her face that won the tag team titles last week, and then she fucking turned on her partner last night.
That was a cool twist. I saw that.
And then Cora Jade fucking going to hit this chick with a fucking skateboard, and the skateboard breaking apparently before she made contact.
The botch. Oh, that's so sad. Very sad. But I just want to say, I really do like the tag team of Thunderstorm. Yeah. It actually has a lot of potential, if there was a women's tag team division.
What do you think they should do with Jade? I feel like it's coming up to.
Oh, okay. We're gonna get into that. We do have a match we got to talk about before we get into that. So we have Serena Deeb versus Anna Jay.
It was an okay match, but it wasn't a match that I really paid attention to. It really didn't do much for me. Anna Jay.
It definitely, I feel like the Jon Moxley match should have been they should have switched the Moxley match with the Serena Deeb match.
Yeah, I feel that way too. I'm honestly shocked that the Moxley match was fucking second on the card, to be honest with you.
Well, they probably wanted to spread it out, probably, because
Um,
they did give us a comedy match at first, so they probably wanted the next match to be serious.
I thought that Anna Jay was gonna win for a second, and then she ended up tapping out.
No, I knew she was gonna lose because Serena Deeb's going for the title at Death Before Dishonor.
It's, I don't know. It was an okay match.
You know what I put in my notes?
What?
After she lost, Anna Jay lost, I put, I want to see Anna Jay and Ty Conti start something. Which they did actually do something backstage before the main event that we'll talk about. But moving forward now to the next thing, the Jade Cargill backstage segment. The Tony cut this shit.
Yeah,
It's becoming very bland now.
starting to.
And it's making me sad.
I like fucking Malcolm Bivens there. Stokely Hathaway, I like him quite a bit. He brings like the comedic side to everything.
Which I think is needed.
I'm wondering where, because you have Jade, who's sort of the serious one, and then you have her little friend there, whatever, who's
Kara Hogan.
Kara Hogan,
with the
she's
colored
like,
hair.
she's like, at times she's fun or whatever, and then once Jade comes in the picture, she gets all serious and shit. I'm wondering where they go.
I will say this. I'm very happy to see Layla Gray on AEW TV. I just want to put that out there. I like what they're doing there with like her and Kira Hogan. Mm-hmm. Maybe this could lead to a match between the two to where Layla Gray proves that she could be a part of the baddies.
I don't know, man, but I don't know how much shit.
She's very talented, so for her to be on TV, I'm very happy for her.
I don't know how much more shit she can take though, because like every week they're talking down to her. They're fucking like making her seem like she's nothing. I don't know.
Yep, until she beats Kira Hogan,
which I feel like is gonna happen very, very. Because Kira Hogan, I feel like she's a follower. You can definitely tell she follows whatever Jade does or whatever Jade says.
And Kara Hogan's very talented too. And like at first when AEW signed her, they weren't really using her at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were disappointed because her work at Impact was absolutely phenomenal. So I'm very happy to see that she, has a role on TV. And I think that this role is perfect.
Yeah.
Because she is very good in the ring. So now, with the advertising...
I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen with Red Velvet when she comes back.
Oh, you there?
Yep.
Okay.
I
can't wait to see what happens.
I was saying, well, I can't wait to see what happens when Red Velvet comes back.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But moving forward now, we had them advertising Death Before Dishonor. And of course, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and the greener giant than Omos came out.
I'll be doing I don't know if you are, but I'll be doing a live watch along to that. So stay tuned to everybody.
Yeah, so with Death Before Dishonor, here's what I think. I think that, with Jay Lethal interrupting the advertisement, it was good. It's building up to Joe versus him. But this would have been the perfect time for Samoa Joe to come back. Unless they're waiting until Death Before Dishonor.
I think they'll wait until like a week before the show. Like that Wednesday, I feel like he'll come back and finally say something. They do, Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe, they have a lot of history from like Ring of Honor, Impact, they were very prevalent, TNA Impact, back in the day. So they do have a lot, like this is just playing on, a wrestling storyline. They have a lot of history with each other, you know what I mean? Machismo!
Yeah. Man, I can't wait for that match. That's going to be such a banger.
Bro, I'm telling you, Death Before Dishonor, if the tickets weren't so expensive, I would go. It's going to be a fucking
Me
killer.
too.
It's going to be
way too expensive.
It's going to be a killer show.
But moving on now, we had a backstage segment with Anna Jay with Ty Conti. And I'm very excited to see what they do here. I love the way they did it. They didn't rush anything. It was like Ty Conti was planting the seeds. We saw Anna Jay, but she's been struggling for months to get wins. I believe she had a pay-per-view match against Jade Cargill for the TBS title and lost. and she continues to lose right now. So I think having Ty Conti really get in her ear about maybe it's time for you to make a change. It's your call. This could either start a feud or Anna Jay can finally start getting that push that she deserves. I'm all for this. I think that this would make a great storyline.
I'm all for it, but I just not something that I'm necessarily like, craving over. Like I don't care either way. I'm interested in seeing what happens, but it's not something like, oh my god, like I gotta see, like, is this shit gonna like come to fruition tomorrow? Like, you know what I mean? It's not like one of those situations for me, but I mean, as long as they use Ty Conti in a good way outside of the whole Sammy Guevara thing, because I feel like, with her being shoved down our throats, with her and fucking Sammy always,
I like it. That's legitimate.
Yeah, but I feel like it's turning a lot of people off, like, legitimately. So I feel like Tay Conti needs to build herself back up, because she was very popular before she got with Sammy.
Yeah, I feel like she's more over though now than she was. Maybe not for the right reasons, but
yeah,
she definitely is more over. But now let's get into the main event for the AEW Tag Team Champions. The Young Bucks defended their titles against Team Taz versus Swerve and Our Glory. And we all know, new champs, baby.
Bro, I'm still fucking sweating over that match. Like, that match was, like, highlight of the fucking night. And, like, I've been telling you and Ben for weeks. I was like, bro, I like Keith Lee. I like what they're doing. They're booking him strong, even though people don't think they are. I love this tag team, Swerve and Our Glory.
Compared to WWE.
Like, they never pushed Keith Lee in WWE. Vince never saw anything in Keith Lee. And
NXT?
NXT Black and Gold is different than Raw and SmackDown. Black and
Gold.
Gold.
Yes, but WWE as a whole. I'm talking about, like, his NXT run. That's like what me and Ben try to talk about with you. We think
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about his main roster.
I think he was more. I think he was definitely more pushed in NXT.
Absolutely.
Than AEW, and that's like why I'm disappointed for these couple weeks, because yes, I know that they're doing this tag team with Swerve because they don't really have the time to put them as singles competitors on TV, so they paired them up. And for me, I see Keith Lee as a world champion, and he was in the Black and Gold brand of NXT. So for me to see that, and then going from that to like just being thrown in the tag team, I was disappointed. Don't get me wrong, I love the pairing of, Swerve and Lee, but they're both very talented single competitors.
Yep. And like, Keith Lee wanted to wrestle the kind of style that he's been wrestling his entire career. And WWE, mainly Vince McMahon, they looked at him as a bigger guy, and he needed to wrestle a more slower, methodical pace, and he wasn't about that. And I mean, he pretty much showcased tonight what he's capable of. And they did a lot of, like, tag team maneuvers, him and Swerve, that I've never really seen before. Like when he jumped off of Keith Lee's chest and like used the levers or whatever to do like a 360 or whatever outside the ring. Like, I just love little things like that. Keith Lee is so fucking good, bro.
Man, Swerve and the Young Bucks, holy shit. In the beginning of the match, what they were doing, the cartwheels and then the flips, like outside the ring, I was like, holy shit, what kind of circus shit is this?
Bro, like,
it was awesome.
Swerve is so fucking good. Keith Lee is so fucking good. Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, man, I gotta give it, like, Powerhouse looked fucking dominating, man.
Let me just say this. Ricky Starks got one of the cleanest spears ever.
But
his spears are nice.
His spear was nice. Powerhouse Hobbs fucking doing spine busters of the Young Bucks and everybody on top of Keith Lee. Like, I thought that was gonna be over, man. Like, everybody.
I love the ending because it was like at the end you're like, oh my god, Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs are gonna finally win it. Oh my god, the Young Bucks again. Let's go, Keith Lee, Swerve. It had me freaking going all over the place. I loved it. Everybody there was so confused on what was going to happen. And I loved how it went over 10 o'clock because like at like the two, I was looking at the timer while this was happening. So at like 1 minute beforehand, I was like, oh, come on, Young Bucks.
Bro,
But
I
then
went
like
fucking
Starks
crazy.
goes. It was nuts. I loved it.
Bro, if you watch my watch along, man, I went fucking ape shit. I was like, oh my fucking god. Like, I knew something big was gonna happen. I felt it in my fucking bones, man.
I fell.
I feel. But I mean, this main event couldn't have gone any better than it did. Like, Keith Lee, Swerve Scott, your new tag team champions.
So, what do you give this Fighter Fest out of 10 stars? Your experience.
I gotta give it a B-. You know, it wasn't like the best show, but I feel like the ending really solidified itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know something? I agree. This really wasn't, for me, the best show. The opening match and the main event is what, for me, really helped with the show. And I am going to have to go with a B, only because the opening match with Cassidy and Wardlow, they freaking killed it, and I can't wait to see what bullshit Jim Cornette comes up with that, because they did not expose the business whatsoever. The way that they did that match, it all was perfect. And then the main event was absolutely phenomenal, very unpredictable. Don't care what anybody says. If you watched it live, you were on your freaking toes. Anybody else that didn't watch it live, your opinion, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, is very invalid. Absolutely invalid.
Hey man, it was a great main event, and definitely I feel like it's definitely one of the better tag team matches that has happened this year. You know what I mean? Just simply for like the unpredictability of it and the unpredictable ending. This match had everything for me. Like, I'm so happy for Keith and Swerve. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they do. I mean, this is definitely the push I feel like they need and the momentum. Hopefully they can keep the momentum up, for a couple months to come.
Very excited. Also, too, you're going to be happy about this. On Friday for Rampage, I actually have to tune in because we actually have to hear from the Gun Club about what they did with the Acclaimed, and I got to do a reaction to that because of my boy Max Casser.
Yeah, man. So
I'll
be doing watch along. You'll be doing a live reaction to that, man. It's gonna be a good time. So I'm looking.
That'll probably be the only reaction for Friday, but I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah.
But let us know in the comment section below. We are Wrestling Maniacs. What you guys thought about AEW Dynamite this week. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to smash that like button now. Remember, Danny and I, we go live every Wednesday here on the We Are Wrestling channel. Most Wednesdays, unless something comes up. 10:15 Eastern Standard Time, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, around that time range. We're live on here. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. Links down in the description below. You can go subscribe over to, Danny's watch-alongs and wrestling vlogs channel. He does a lot over there. And
I'm on Twitch now, man. Twitch.tv/Danny Huckins. Follow me. We doing some gaming. We can talk about pro wrestling. Follow me on my YouTube channel, Danny Age Vlogs, for live WWE and AEW watch-alongs, man. It's all love,
That's right, and you guys can go subscribe over to my basketball channel if you like basketball, DBTV, and Best One Network. I have lots of stuff coming out on there pretty soon before we say goodbye. But, of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.
But if I lay down and I'm dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted, you've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test, I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being